The cover of this week's Trends Journal, Golden Prophecy. Number one safe haven asset spikes to new highs as world keeps sinking to new lows. Something else that everybody should be watching in a lot of countries, and that's what we're calling the office building bust. When they launched COVID war, they made people work from home. Your office vacancy rate in the 10 largest cities in America is at 20%. It's not coming back. And the loans that are, now it's 5 years later, there are about $2 to $4 trillion worth of loans coming down in the next 3 years. There's going to be a lot of defaults on office buildings, and that's going to bring down a number of banks. So that's something to look at that nobody's talking about, that we're writing about in the Trends Journal. Again, we only put the facts in. Last year, 50th Street, New York City, Midtown Manhattan. Building, they sold it in 2006, over $300 million. It went up for auction last year. It sold for $8.5 million. The buildings built in the last 50 years are non-convertible to apartments and residential. They're empty spaces. You got to knock the damn thing down and build something else. There's going to be office building bust, and it's going to bring down banks. And so watch the bank stocks too. I was prime draft me back in the day, and I did everything I could to beat the draft. I want to make this clear. As a young guy, I was stupid enough to swallow the crap that if we don't stop those commies, they're going to take over all of Asia, and the dominoes will keep falling. William Buckley, a little arrogant, and those dominoes will keep falling. They'll hit the shores of California. I believed it as a young kid. I didn't want to go to get my brains blown out. That's why I went to college. And the only school I could get into was Morris Harvey College in Charleston, West Virginia, a greaser from the Bronx. I hated every day of school, but I did it to beat the draft. By the way, Trump and Biden, both draft dodgers, they love war. Trump got like a bunch of deferments. His daddy got him out. He got a bone spur on my ankle. Yeah, piece of crap. Lied his way into it. Going back to the war. No, it's not going to happen in a couple of years. Iran is a very sophisticated country. These are the Persians. The cats have been around a long time. They're very advanced militarily, scientifically, and technologically. There are 91 million of them. There are 7 million Jewish people living in Israel. You don't have to be good at math to figure this out. If the United States goes to war against them, that's going to be the beginning and end of life on Earth. Because, look it up, this, you know about the Samson option? If Israel loses, they say they're going nuclear. And they have between 200 to 400 nuclear warheads. I launched Occupy Peace. It's not empty words. I have major rallies. I read George Washington's farewell address. Yeah, remember the George Washington, the cat that crossed the Delaware? Not like these little clown boys that couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag, that are all tough guys playing president. He said, don't love a nation, don't hate a nation. Because if you do, you become a slave to them. And basically, don't get involved in these foreign entanglements. This has been going on for centuries. And we're not going to fix it. We're the United States. We protect our own country. I don't believe in globalization. People believe what you want to believe. Don't tell me what to do. I won't tell you what to do. This crap has been going on for how long? Go to History Today. Mainstream. Google, type up. In July 26, 1941, Franklin Roosevelt seized all Japanese assets in America. You know why? Yep. Because those dirty Japanese invaded French Indochina. Hey, French Indochina? What are the French doing in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos? And you're calling it French Indochina? Shut the hell up, Celente! We're stealing their rubber! We're stealing their tin! We're robbing, pillaging, raping! We're the French! It's French Indochina! Hey, everybody, you forgot the sun never sets on the British Empire? Oh, they only killed some 400 million people in India throughout their occupation? And they call it the royal family. They dress up in all these drag costumes. If they were Italian, you'd call them a mafia. They're murderous bastards. Anyway, going back to World War II, the British and the United States put sanctions on Japan, cut off 3/4 of their global trade and 88% of their imported oil. They only import 100%. Okay, so here you go. I'm Japan. You stole my money. You cut off all my trade, and I can't get any oil. Can't understand why they bombed Pearl Harbor. I haven't figured it out yet. So what I'm saying is they lie us into wars, and they're going to do it again. Look what they're doing over there, killing all these people in Yemen. And again, the Saudi Arabia, the king. It's a crime syndicate that was invented in 1934. And the first thing they tried to do was to attack the Houthis in Yemen back then. And the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama, along with that little dick of shit Anthony Blinken going over to Saudi Arabia, providing them with strategic alliance. We were refueling the Saudi planes to bomb Yemen, where they killed well over 500,000 people. Oh, this is the Anthony Blinken. I went to Dalton. I went to Harvard. My daddy was the ambassador to Hungary. My uncle was the ambassador to Belgium. Arrogant little bastards and bitches are running the world. Look at the freak show. And you call these guys out man to man, they don't know whether they're a piss of shit. But boy, do they act tough. I got banned from TikTok. And the reason is I had forecast that Ukraine is going to do everything they can to ramp up this war. False flag event, bombing a nuclear power plant, keep bombing Russian oil depots and pipelines, etc. The United States overthrow of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine. People have no idea about that. Remember Victoria Nuland passing out cookies with John McCain and candy? Being caught on the phone with that little guy, Jeffrey Pyatt, another little jerk of nothing that was the United States ambassador to Ukraine. And she says, fuck the EU, we're going to put Yats in New York after they overthrew the government. People have no idea about how the Ukraine, a Nazi group, the Azovs, how they were killing over 15,000 Russian people in the Donbass region. So Putin is not going to give back the 20% of the land that they took. And no, they didn't steal Crimea. They had a vote. Over 96% of the people. Again, this has been going back for centuries, back and forth. What, do you want to go back to Catherine the Great? Again, it goes back to George Washington saying, don't get involved in this stuff. It's been going on for centuries. And Ukraine's going to do everything they can to keep fighting it. And now you're seeing all of Europe unite to keep fighting this war. Look at the little clowns you got. The best cartoonist in the world than Boris Johnson of the UK. And now you got this gutless little clown Starmer ramping up the military as their economy's in dragflation. In media terms, it's going to take years to make it happen. But the companies have to be United States owned, not foreign. And by the way, Vietnam, I talked earlier about those dirty commies, right? That's our second largest importer. We import more clothing, shoes, and furniture from Vietnam other than China. They're still commies, communist China, but we went to war against them. That's the sickness of what they sell. I went to Vietnam, by the way, in 1996. Me and my buddy, we went from the Mekong Delta all the way up to Hanoi. The people were so kind. And I got to tell you, the food in Saigon, oh man, French and Asians, oh, it was some of the best. And there was only one time that we were hated for being Americans. But anyway, I want to talk about self-sufficient governments. Facts are there. Let's go back to the beginning of the Ukraine war. February 2022. Biden puts sanctions on Russia. One company after another. Remember, they're all pulling out of Russia, Starbucks, but all these companies pulling out. Out of his mind, Biden said Putin's going to pay the price. They didn't pay the price. Yeah, the economy went down initially, and then their economy kept growing. We said Russia has all of the human and natural resources they need to be self-sufficient. They became a self-sufficient economy. The war isn't building up the economy, and I give you the proof of it. They're selling that BS line in Europe and the UK right now that building up the military will build up their economy. No, the money only goes into the military-industrial complex. You build up an economy when you manufacture products that people buy. Nobody's buying the bombs, the planes, the weapons. That's just going into the military-industrial complex pocket. Russia's economy got built because they became more self-sustaining. They're manufacturing the products that people are buying. Same thing's going on with China. There's 1.4 billion people. No, we don't need Gucci. We got our own now. They're doing out their own. And America has all the human and natural resources we need to be self-sufficient. Again, made in USA. But again, I don't want to pay income tax. And I'm tired of Trump. Again, I only put the facts in the magazine. And when he'd get that tax break, and when he was president back in 2017, he said the corporations would use this money for capital improvements. They didn't. According to the Tax Policy Center, the 1% got 64% of the tax benefits, and in 2018 was the biggest year of stock buybacks ever. They didn't put it into capital improvements. They put it into their pocket. You got to see what he's going to do. He says one thing a lot of times and does another thing. Remember, you said he's going to end the war in 24 hours in Ukraine. Hey, elect me. I'll end it in 24 hours. Now that I'm elected, hey, that war's going to end before I get into office. The war's still going on. By the way, I had lunch with his brother, Robert, back in 2017. I was with him for about 3 hours. A nice guy. And he said when the father died, he left him over $500 million worth of real estate. So Trump's a spoiled daddy's boy. In one of my books, what Zizzy gave Honey Boy, there used to be a TV show, Everyone Loves Raymond. The woman, Doris Roberts, the last starring role is playing my aunt. And Zizzy is the Neapolitan dialect for auntie. Zia's aunt, Zizzy's auntie. And Doris Roberts died 15 minutes into the movie. You can get it on YouTube. But anyway, I write in the book when I was a kid growing up in the Bronx, they couldn't control me and my brothers. And now the greatest threat they used to give us, little bastard, we had enough of this, you're going to military school. Trump was so out of it, they sent him to military school.